deliver consistent high purity products to
Gary, welcome back to InvestorStream. On Wednesday, Sacgasco raised $5 million from a strongly supported placement to fund the company's share of the costs for drilling Borba. I understand you've also decided to reduce your working interest in Borba to approximately 67%. Can you just talk me through the strategy behind that decision?
Thanks, Alex, for the opportunity to have a chat. The strategy is quite simple. We'll try and answer it in two parts. Firstly, we raised money because we needed funds to drill Borba. The joint venture is between Xstate and Sacgasco, and the two boards took the correct view, in my opinion, that funding and drilling the Borba well between the two companies offers tremendous upside for all our shareholders. And moreover, because Borba has the potential to be a huge prize that justifies self-drilling and secondly, has a lower risk profile. Sacgasco reduced its equity from 76% down to 67% through a promote to Xstate of 1.5 for 1 roughly. So in other words, we'll get a bit of extra funding from Xstate to reduce our funding needs to around 63%, and we'll both get on and drill the well. Obviously, from the response to the capital raise, it's clear that the shareholders strongly agree with the strategy of self-funding and between the two of us, and that's the way we're going to do it.
Thanks, Gary. Now, we're all obviously waiting for the drilling to commence at Borba, and you've flagged that drilling is imminent. What's the latest from the ground there, and when can we expect you to start turning to the right?
Operational timing, Alex, is always fraught, as I've said many times before. And it has been raining quite heavily in the last week at site, but we're expecting a fine weather period later this week and into next week, and we expect we'll be able to move the rig then. I anticipate, and I say this with the normal operational uncertainty proviso, that we will be drilling within 2 weeks, if not earlier. Equipment is being tested and ready to move to the drill site as soon as we can do so without damaging the access roads. We've chosen the rig, and the crews are getting themselves ready, so we'll be turned to the right pretty soon.
Now, last week you also reported a second consecutive transaction in Alberta under what can only be described as excellent terms. In your opinion, why are these assets becoming available, and where's the immediate upside for Sacgasco and your operating partner in terms of production gains?
The low oil price in the middle of last year resulted in financial difficulties for many debt-burdened oil and gas companies. Their lenders put pressure on the owners to sell assets to reduce or eliminate debt. This, along with my view, some ill-formed views on a coming rapid reduction in oil demand and bankruptcies, resulted in fire sale conditions for assets, particularly in Canada. Our colleagues at Blue Sky were on the ground to scan the markets and select attractive undervalued assets for acquisition. They had already done that previously. And so far, our group has selected 2 sets of assets that fit our strategy. The immediate upside is in returning idled and shut-in wells to production, particularly as oil prices increase. With this last acquisition, we've actually been producing since the 18th of January. So we've been oil producers in Canada already on that one, and we expect to close the other Red Earth acquisition in the next couple of weeks or so as well.
Okay, Gary, so you mentioned the Red Earth acquisition there as well. In terms of your growing portfolio of assets in Alberta, do you think there are further opportunities here for you? And how do you plan to aggressively scale up field operations?
Our operators in Canada and California are on the lookout for additional assets of interest to us that fit our strategy. Key operational people have been retained for the Canadian assets, and they are keenly looking for ways to improve production. After we've optimized production, we will look at development opportunities, particularly in the Red Earth properties, where there are more of those than there are for the Alberta Plains properties, this latest acquisition. Alex, these are pretty exciting times to be in oil and gas. Please remember that a good flow rate at Borba will lead to further drilling and development activity in that premium and massively undersupplied local natural gas market. and that's something for all of us to eagerly prepare for.
Thanks, Gary. As you said, plenty to look forward to, and certainly the first half of 2021 is looming to be quite a significant one for you. So, again, really appreciate you joining me today, and all the best with upcoming operations at Borba.
Thanks.